Good evening, and welcome to this evening's episode of Slave Food Conversations, where two African American physicians explore the role of racism as a unique form of stress and the weaponization of food in the creation of health disparities in the African American communities, irrespective of income. They discover eating a whole food, plant based diet in urban communities is not only possible, but is the key to eliminating health disparities. Tonight, the doctors will be joined by Samia Gore, who is with the Centered Health for Women. Gore is the first Black female founder to break significant ground in the highly competitive, male dominated nutritional supplement industry. The author and healthy lifestyle advocate founder of Body Complete RX and founded that in 2017. It is a wellness brand of plant-based supplements formulated by a Black woman nutritionist with a complete wellness journey in mind. Created as a result of her own wellness journey from health to beauty, Body Complete RX is a complete solution and has been credited in changing the lives of thousands of consumers worldwide. In August of 2021, Gore launched her exclusive plant-based vegan supplements at the Vitamin Shop, making BCRX the first Black female-owned brand to launch in the retailer's history. Gore and Body Complete RX have been featured in Elle, Essence, Bustle, US Weekly, also being a featured speaker as seen in Essence, plus New Voice Entrepreneurs Summit, and more. As usual, the Slave Food team thanks you for all of your support. Please continue to spread the word about the Slave Food Project and make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Enjoy the show.
All right. Well, I am not Samia Gore. I know that she is right now trying her best to get on air with us. So I'm going to take just a moment here and make sure that she has all the connections that are there. I'm going to tell you, we talk a lot about something called stress inside of this show, right? And I think we have someone who's joining us right now.
I'm connected. I think I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Awesome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, man, I am well. I'm well. It's good to see you.
Awesome. It's good to see you, too. We were able to connect a couple months ago, and so it's really good to connect with you.
Yes. I don't think you had a chance to meet Danette Batiste.
Hi, Samia. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Danette. Nice to meet you as well.
Yes, I had a chance to listen in on your Essence panel that you and Columbus did together. So very, very informative, always amazing to hear you speak of your journey, as well as, just kind of sharing some of the things that you experienced. So I'm just going to jump in, Columbus, if you don't mind, because I was very excited to have the opportunity to talk with you.
Can I ask you something first? This is how we get down on this show. We just kind of jump in and get in and everything like that. I first want to just know real quick before we dive into everything about you, is I want to know, why did you choose to become a Delta?
That is so funny. So I have that are Deltas, but it just when I went to Eastern Michigan University for my undergraduate degree, and just on campus, I just really aligned with the women Delta Sigma. Just the energy, the vibe. I just really felt compelled to align with Delta. So that's how I feel like
That's great. I had to throw you off a little bit because I knew you wouldn't be expecting that question there at all.
We lost your volume. It's going in and out. Are you hearing it kind of go in and out?
Yeah, it kind of went in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah,
I think you're back.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody has ever asked me that question.
See that? Now you're gonna remember conversations with the doctors now. See that? One last question with that. Now I'm gonna hit you up really hard, right? So I don't want to get you in trouble with your sisters there. but who are your top 3 famous deltas of all time?
Ooh.
And you can't include yourself.
Oh my goodness! Wow, now you're putting me on the spot. I'm not gonna go there. It's so many sorors that are just extraordinary. Even on my line, I have extraordinary congresswoman on
Okay.
my line. So
Nice.
I don't want to I can't. It's Delta Sigma Theta. So
All right, I can live with that. I like that answer. Actually, it's a very political answer right there. I'm loving that. All right, Jeanette. Sorry, I'm gonna let you go ahead and jump in. I just had to kind of get that little icebreaker out the way.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. So Samia, it was just in terms of your journey and your weight loss journey. Like, so there's a couple journeys that you took, and so just wanting to just share with our viewers a little bit about what brought you to where you are. I know that at some point in time you had gained some weight and lost some weight and gained some weight and lost some weight again. And could you mind just kind of sharing out a little bit about your story?
yeah, absolutely. So I told me my story about in 2014. Fourth, I picked up 8 pounds of weight during that pregnancy, and
Okay.
time in 2014, Instagram was kind of just launching off, and it was a social space to kind of share my journey. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where I kind of start at, and a lot of people hear that story. But to be honest, I've had struggled with my weight all of my life.
Okay.
I was raised in a family where, healthy eating and healthy living wasn't necessarily stressed. My son
Okay.
passed away when I was 15. He was 36 of diabetes.
Mm. Okay.
Grandmother, my grandfather, my great grandmother, my great grandfather have all passed away from heart disease, diabetes. So this is the kind of lineage that I come from, and so
Mm-hmm.
share the story. And yes, in 2014, I had this child. I picked up all this weight. I went on this journey to lose weight. That was my main focus at that time, was just weight loss. And then I went on a mommy makeover journey, and I shared how I had
Mm-hmm.
tummy tuck and lipo and breast lift and all these things. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, that journey led me to the journey that I'm in right now, which is overall health and wellness, because I saw
Okay.
that plastic surgery that wasn't the end all of be all. It was really about getting well from, and I grew this large following who had followed me losing this 8 pounds. Then they followed me on this mommy makeover journey. I wrote a book about it, because I wanted people to go on it, if they were going to do this journey, to do it properly. I saw
Mm-hmm.
many women, going after the shortcut, right? Like, I don't necessarily lose weight. I just want to get this surgery done. And I saw it just being such an unhealthy way of going about this process. So I wrote
Mm-hmm.
about it, and then ultimately developed a company that was really talking to health and wellness overall, not weight loss, but really a lifestyle. And that's what I kind of, people who followed me for many years know that I've developed a lifestyle around this. This wasn't just about a look for me, but more so about living. Um,
Okay.
I've had friends and family pass away from health
Mm-hmm.
directly related to weight and just an unhealthy lifestyle. So that's what my life is about now, and I hope that that comes across to my followers.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's what you're saying is so powerful. And one of the things we'll see if we can kind of help out with this is your sound is going in and out, and I think the listeners are definitely wanting to hear what you have to say. For those who are tuning in now and going to tune in the future there. So let's get a little mic check and see if this is a little bit better for you with it closer. I'm not sure if headphones will work there too as well.
All right.
Oh, that's better.
You guys can hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think maybe if you lean a little bit closer, it might be
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
about that.
no, that's great. That's great that it's better now. We corrected it. One of the things that you said that's so poignant and that we talk about all the time, and I'll tell you, it's not in isolation. You know, I talk about all the time about my father who passed away of diabetes. Danette's dad had hypertension that led to kidney failure and
Wow.
his ultimate demise. And so these things called chronic disease seem to be just ever present. And one of the things that we look at when we look at disparities of disease that kind of strike our community, we also look at the role of stress. And so can you speak to, I mean, you have 4 beautiful kids, right? Your mother of 4 beautiful kids, and tell the audience kind of the age range of your kids, because it sounds like your youngest is like me. They were a pleasant surprise, right? I'm a pleasant surprise.
Oh, you were the pleasant surprise.
I was a pleasant surprise. We don't call it anything else except a pleasant surprise.
I hear you. So yes, absolutely. So my I have 4 children ranging from 21 years old to 8 years old.
Okay.
My 8-year-old was this pleasant surprise.
There you go. There you go. Come on now. Rain blessings on that young one right there.
So my oldest daughter is 21 and she's off in Atlanta at Spelman College, and I just took my second oldest down to Florida College. So
Okay.
yeah.
And you still have the 8-year-old, so that's good.
Yes.
You're not empty yet. The nest is not empty yet.
And he keeps us busy. Definitely.
Hello, Dr. Walsh. How you doing?
Good. I am
literally
out in a field in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I thought that was like a background.
I did too. Nature.
Wow, they got you out there picking berries. That's all right. That's good.
Way out, and so yeah, I probably got about a half hour to be on, but I didn't want to miss you, Samia. I was when Dr. Batiste kind of introduced you to the conversation idea, and I was really impressed, and so really want to hear your story and be inspired.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Nice to meet you, Dr. Walsh.
So you kind of mentioned that you started the business, right? You just said, and you just kind of like, oh, I started this business. You know, I know there's a lot more that went into than that. So can you kind of share out like that whole entrepreneurial journey for you?
Absolutely. So like I said, initially, you know, again, I started my journey and this weight loss journey, sharing it on social media, grew this large following, then started sharing how I was going on this mommy makeover journey, grew this large following, you know, just following this journey. And then I started seeing people going on this journey who, you know, I felt like, you know, necessarily weren't going about it the right way. They were not trying to lose weight properly. They weren't, you know, you need to be within 20 pounds of a healthy weight before you have like a plastic surgery, or that's what it's recommended. So I saw people doing it and not necessarily doing, you know, trying to get at that healthy place and then being unhappy with their results afterwards. So I started personally just sharing, you know, products that I was using, supplements that I was using. My doctor had prescribed for me phentermine to help me with like weight loss and weight management. And it was like super strong. And, you know, it worked because I wasn't eating at all. Right. So like, it took away my appetite in entirety. So I was like talking to a friend of mine, Dr. Ruby Lathan, who's a nutritionist, and she's been featured in What the Health.
Right. And she's been on the show.
She's been on the show. Yes. And so I speaking with a friend with her, and I was telling her, you know, like I'm using this phentermine. It's really strong. I'm sharing it with my following, but I want to try to figure out a safer alternative, something that we could use for weight management that's safer, maybe plant-based. And so we started talking and got to talking about the different ingredients that we can put into a formula that would help with weight management. And then I started doing research about a laboratory that I could work with. And I found a laboratory in Atlanta to work with, partner with them, was able to share with them our unique formula. And they were able to translate it into a formula that we were able to put onto the market. So my first formulas were for weight loss. That was it. It was just 3 products for weight loss. And those are the products that, you know, are currently sold at Vitamin Shop as the first Black woman-owned and formulated weight management product on shelves. So that's initially what the brand started with. And then as I saw that, it was like, okay, cool. We lose the weight. now what, right? It's like, this is a lifestyle, and everything that encompasses a healthy lifestyle, I wanted to be a part of and involved with. So I started looking at, I was drinking protein. Okay, well, I started looking at my own protein ingredients and was sharing that with Dr. Lathan. And she's like, we can make a better ingredient, adding sweet potato and beetroot to our protein formulas, which is something that helps with heart health and diabetes, those, plant-based ingredients. So our formulas, like our plant-based protein, is made with sweet potato and beetroot. People say, like, why is it pink when they shake it up? It's the beetroot formula. So, just looking at different ways that, our formulas, we say that it's Black woman owned and formulated. It's for everyone, but with us in mind, with people of color in mind, with our health disparities in mind when we make those formulas. And that's what I think is really special about our brand.
Absolutely.
No, that's incredible. I love that stuff. I can dig into the beetroots and start kind of really expounding on that a whole bunch with beetroots and sweet potatoes. But I think one of the things that sticks out that's curious and interesting to me is that, how'd you get over the fear factor, right? So when you move into a different area, because I know you have your MBA, you have your degree in sociology. I actually went down and gave a talk down in, was it in Eastern Michigan University here recently. And so I know the area that's there from my time down there, but you have all those things, but how do you that leap into a whole different environment of nutrition and of this of diet wars and so forth?
It's so interesting, because it's not until maybe like today or in the past year that I would say like a fear. Maybe it's called, like they say, what is it? Imposter syndrome. It's like, when I first jumped into this space, I wasn't thinking about any other brands, companies, anything. It was like, I want to make a formula for my followers. This is something that I wanted to do. I didn't think that it was going to grow the way that it's grown. I didn't see myself as being, the first Black woman to own a supplement at the vitamin shop. These were not my visions. Goals. It was just more so like, I want to put out a product. I have I have these followers. Whenever I share what I'm using, they typically, will look into it. So I want to put out my own formula, my own product. Today, now that it is in a space where, I'm having conversations with large retailers who are like, you're literally competing against this company who's been here for 20 years. And I need you to tell me why we should put you on shelf next to this company. And it's like, oh, whoa. Okay. So now it's like the fear, I guess, sets in. It's not more so fear for me, because I'm really a faith-based person, and I believe that God placed me in this space for a particular reason. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I partner with people, and I feel like I'm an advocate for women. That's what I am. I've come into this space and I've been able to, use my brains to find the right people to bring into this space to help to create the products that I feel like need to be on the shelf, that help to support us and people who look like me. So, I just have to walk confidently in that and know that I'm an advocate, and that's what I choose to say and choose to put myself out there as. I'm the person that, the Vitamin Shop has put me on their wellness council. It's my responsibility now to identify other Black women in this space. And I've been able to do so with companies like Peak and Valley that just launched at the Vitamin Shop. And I was able to, help that partnership. So, so that's, I guess, how I've been able to get over it. Just really just stepping into it.
And is that what you tell them when they ask why you should be on the shelf next to those people? Is that your answer? I'm curious to what you say.
My answer is that our products have proven ourselves. Yes, we're not $1 billion company yet. We haven't been around for 20 years, but our formulas are superior. I'm a very competitive person. When I went and formulated our formulas, I'm looking at all of the formulas and all of the supplements on the shelf, and I'm making sure that ours are the best. So I tell people, don't just support us because we're a Black woman-owned company. Please do your due diligence and look at our formulas and compare them to the ones that you're currently using, and tell us which one is the best. Because I love to hear people come back and tell me, hey, yours is actually the best. Right. So that's what I really want people to support us for.
That's wonderful. One of the things that I've kind of evolved and Eric jump in whenever, but one of the things I've evolved, so I've obviously I practice medicine still and I coach people just who will ask me independently. And I'll be honest, at the beginning when I would coach people towards their health journeys, which oftentimes include weight, I would say things like, don't weigh yourself. Well, that's actually contradictory towards like science in terms of those who are most successful. And I would say, and I would try and give one size fits all for them. And one of the things that's evolved over the number of years is I realized that people need to see results in a short time to feel motivated and
Mhm.
to overcome those challenges of just in disappointment with the restrictions they're making. And so I think there is a place at the table for certain types of approaches towards weight loss, like what you developed. And I love the fact that you focused on tackling the health and wellness too as well. But speak to a bit, because I was struck when we were on that panel together when you said you lost 100 pounds twice. I'm like,
Yes,
100 pounds twice?
twice.
And you gotta get a double gold medal for that. I mean, so talk about the stress,
Yeah.
the elation and the disappointment when you lose it and you gain it back, because I know there's people out there listening who have
Yes.
lost weight and regained it.
So, like I said, I have 4 children. And in each of my pregnancies, I think I probably gained 50 plus pounds in each of my pregnancies. So, it was always, there's been 2 times, I think, with my second child, I picked up about 100 pounds. And then with my fourth child, about 100 pounds. So that's what I referenced on that
Okay.
panel. And it can be a struggle. So I know that's why, I'm very staunch on my company and like just sharing my journey, because I've been there and I know what that looks like. And I just even recently after COVID, during quarantine, I picked up 60 pounds during quarantine. And I've shared how I, went through and lost that after quarantine. Yeah, I went through a lot of stress, anxiety during that period, which a lot of people did. Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I've just recently been sharing that. So I understand, weight loss is a daunting experience for people. And I just like to, share my genuine experience with going through that journey, and that I've been through it more than one time. And I know what it looks like from the beginning. And like you said, Dr. Batiste, people say it's a very fine line that you walk in the weight loss industry or in like this field, because you want to be body positive. And you're not, it's not about shaming, but it is about health, right? It is about health. And I do sometimes feel constrained in my company and my business, because sometimes you get a pushback about a weight loss product, because people are so sensitive about weight loss and products and pushing that. But it's like, listen, we're all trying to live. And I have friends, I'm 41, so I have friends now, in their 40s, approaching 50s, who are really dealing with health issues. Whereas in their 30s, when they were 50, 60 pounds overweight, it was like, oh, whatever. Now it's like, hey, having heart issues. Hey, I just got diagnosed with cancer. Hey, I'm dealing with all of these ailments. So this is really, really, it's a lifestyle. It's something that I really want people, especially in my age group, to get hip with. That we really got to start living right. This is not about a look. It's not about a small waist. This is about living. It really is. So that's what's really important to me. And that's what I hope people, get through my brand. I'm not just trying to sell you a product to lose weight. I'm really trying to get you hip to a lifestyle.
Love it. Love it. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I was going to ask. So if she hasn't said it already, give us the secret. How is it that you've done this so dramatically so many times? Phentermine, I'm very familiar with it when I was in preventive medicine residency. That was one of the meds that one of the docs loved to use. And I actually saw a lot of side effects and incredible rebound weight gain. So that people actually gained more weight than they lost.
Yeah.
And it was harder to get rid of afterwards. So I really am against phentermine, and obviously fen was pulled from the market.
Yeah.
What steps did you take? How did you do this, even especially this last time?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I shared, the phentermine, super stimulating, something that was not easy to actually pick up a lifestyle with. So when creating our supplements, our appetite suppressant supplement that we have, Control, it's an organic supplement mainly based with lion's mane, caffeine. And these are plant-based alternative ingredients that are not as strong as phentermine, but allow for me to suppress my appetite, but also create healthy habits to go along with this new suppressed appetite, right? So, like in my brand, we have a nutrition guide where we actually list out for people like meal plan, how to have like healthy meals that actually will function in your lifestyle. Making sure that you actually are following, cutting out certain things. I mean, it is important to limit sugars. It is important to limit certain things when you are trying to lose weight. I
Right.
know that people try to stress like, oh, losing weight with, and I can still eat all the carbs I want and I can still eat all the sugar you want. Like, no, like you really can't. You have to change your lifestyle. So I would say the secret is, it's not just supplements. I'm never going to sell people on just taking a supplement. You got to also be mentally prepared to actually walk this journey. I could put a supplement in front of your face and you could never ever take it, right? It's a whole mindset that you set up, I feel like, in order to be prepared to walk the path, to stay committed to your journey, to like every day when you get on that scale, like you said, Dr. Patisse, people say don't get on the scale. I believe on getting on the scale because it keeps you
Honest.
mindful of where you're at.
Right.
And I don't feel like, it's obsessive to get on the scale once a week. To stay mindful of where you're at in your goal and your weight loss goal, but also keeping in mind, like, hey, I know that I was consistent this week with my water. I know I was consistent this week with eating lean. Oh, the scale said I'm up 2 pounds. I'm not going to stress out about that because guess what? I know that this week I didn't drink Pepsi all week. I drank water all week. And I know that that's going to benefit me no matter what this scale is telling me today. So again, it's all about a lifestyle, stressing a lifestyle and stressing that, if you continue to follow that journey, sometimes that scale is going to be one way, another way, or whatever. But if you're continuing with these habits, healthy habits, you're going to see progress no matter what. It never fails.
That's right. That's right. You got to trust the process, is what you're saying. Trust the process on a consistent basis, and the ends will come out. And that's perfect because that's what I tell folks. You don't want to have rapid weight loss. So that means if you average 1 to 2 pounds a week, that means some weeks you may lose 3 pounds. Next week, you may gain a pound.
Yep.
Don't be upset, right? It's going to average out, and you want your average overall to be in the right place that says that you're doing the right thing at the right time. So that's great. I love that.
Absolutely.
I do have to say that I actually did dig into some of the ingredients inside of your products, and so I actually was impressed by some of the ingredients that I went through, and I see the science behind some of them. So in terms of it, some of the things like glutamine base that will trigger something called cholecystokinin, and that's a type of molecule that will basically reduce hunger. That's there. And so it's released in the bowel system and it really is triggered. It's almost ironic. It's almost one of these things where the body is searching for the nutrients. So we think we're eating just because we're just eating, although sugar does induce that. It causes us just to eat mindlessly. But when we eat, our body is looking for certain ingredients, certain types of amino acids, certain types of omega-3s. And until you get it, you're still having that drive to eat. And so part of it is that this hormone is secreted when you do that. So I love the fact that you're encouraging people to eat the healthful foods and to avoid the foods that are garbage. I call them garbage instead of carbs, right? The garbage is the bad stuff.
Garbage. And you know what? You can reintroduce those things to your life once you have grasped the lifestyle again. That's what I feel. It's all like, I don't restrict myself today. Today I'm a very balanced, I live a very balanced lifestyle, and people see that. And I like to share that, on my personal social throughout the day. People may see, hey, she had a donut yesterday, and I'll share that with people because I live a very balanced lifestyle. And I want people to understand that you don't always have to be restricted. And maybe sometimes in the beginning, when you're just starting out, when you can't control yourself, that's when you need to try to restrict yourself so you can learn those healthy habits. And then once you've gained those habits, then you can start to introduce some of those things back into.
So some of your products, does it like literally, does it take like the edge off of the desire, or is it something that in terms of like the appetite suppressant, is it something that will be like, it takes it away?
No, absolutely. So our weight management products will absolutely take the edge off of your desire. So we have a metabolism boosting drop. Those drops really help with sugar cravings. And then we also have the capsules, which are appetite suppressant capsules, and those really help with your appetite. So, some people say we recommend 2 in a dosage. Some people say 2 is too much for them. 1 is enough. So takes the edge off in terms of like with your appetite. And like I said, people say, well, do I have to take these forever for the rest of my life? No, the goal is that you use this product to help you reach your goals. And along the way, develop the lifestyle, the healthy habits that you want to continue past the product. So once you're done using the product, okay, well now for the past 2 months, I've been doing this every day. And so now I'm comfortable with easing into this versus like maybe like you said, Dr. Walsh, like a phentermine, whereas for the past 2 months, I haven't been eating at all. And then 2 months later, I'm eating and I'm stuffing everything inside. I haven't ate for 2 months. So that's what I want for my product. And that's why I created the product, so it can help to ease into a lifestyle.
And does it also, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was just saying, like, is it also set up so that your body can get the nutrients and the vitamins that it's missing? Because is that kind of why people crave and eat a lot, because their bodies are missing some of those nutrients?
Absolutely. So our protein is completely included. It has 19 amino acids in our protein, which is our meal replacement protein that we have. So that definitely has the nutrients that you need in order for a meal replacement. And we recommend that 1 time per day, no more than 2 per day in terms of a protein replacement, because we recommend that you get your protein from food as a natural source. So yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to pivot slightly because you're a CEO of a growing company now. What was it? Last year it was over $10 million that you all have grossed at that point in time. Wonderful. Yeah. Congratulations with that. That's phenomenal. On another front, you're a mom, right?
Yes.
And so you have 4 kids.
Yes.
How do you speak to the person out there who's balancing work with kids, trying to eat healthily, trying to move, and trying to sleep, all of which we understand are important. And that's so, keep it real. How do you do it?
It's so hard. I so get it. My son just got Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get Chick-fil-A, but he got it's hard, it's hard as being a parent, especially a parent of kids. And, your kids, they like to have certain treats that maybe you're not really not trying to have right now, cooking for them. I've been in that place where I'm cooking for my entire family, my husband, my children. I've been there. And then I'm eating, a salad with chicken, and they're, eating whatever I've cooked for them. Sometimes you do have to be regimented in that way. You just do. And you have to make a decision for yourself. Like, this is what I'm going to stick to. These are the goals I have for myself, even when my family is maybe eating a different way than I am tonight. And you want to also get your family on a healthy lifestyle pattern too. But again, understanding that maybe they're not on a weight loss journey and you are. So sometimes you may have to cook different for yourself than you're cooking for them. It's really a discipline that you have to apply to yourself. And again, I feel like maybe I'm a disciplined person. I shared before, we talked earlier, 25. I've had my first 3 kids by the time I was 25, and my master's degree by the time I was 25, with working full time.
Wow.
So just to tell you a little bit about me, I'm extremely,
just a little bit competitive, just a little
bit, and a goal setter, a goal getter, so a little bit. So just to give you a little bit of energy about me, when I want to go have something, I go after it, especially when it comes to me, my health, the best version of me. I'm that's what I'm after. And I feel like that's what people have to strongly be after, just their best version of their self. It's no time to play around. And this is not the season that we need to be playing with our health either, especially not with what's going on in the world.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. No,
Eric, I think you were going to say something.
No, I was gonna say I'm out, literally outside, and the sun is setting out here, so it's, I'm gonna have to jump off before it gets pitch black and you can't see me. But I want to say I think you're inspiring in two different ways.
Oh, thank you.
I think the entrepreneurial business part of it is phenomenal, but I think what you're doing around promoting healthy lifestyle and habits is really crux and much needed, because many of the patients I see, the challenge really is balancing a busy life and then trying to be healthy at the same time.
Mhm.
A lot of people really, that's where they falter and that's where they struggle. I think we all live it. I mean, being doctors is definitely a busy life. But you're an inspiration because you're pulling all of that off, and at the same time, being able to drop the weight like you've done in the past.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for joining in, Eric. I understand. I know you're traveling, and definitely wanted to make sure the docs was plural this show. So thank you. Appreciate you. All right. We'll
Thank
see
you
you
so
soon.
much, Dr. Walsh.
Thank you. I'm gonna check out your website and I may reach out. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone put in the chats waiting patiently on the products. So the products are available and open to people on the website, as well as you mentioned, the vitamin shop. It's on the shelf there, and so they can get those at either of those places.
Yes, absolutely. You can find us on shelves at Vitamin Shop nationwide.
That's good stuff. So tell me about, you mentioned that you went in social media, right? And almost kind of create this community of support. Tell me about your support system apart from social media. How important was that in your journey?
Apart from social media, my support system really outside of social media lies it surrounds like my kids and my mom. Like really, and
Right.
even them, like, they support me when I need to be supported. I'm a very much so like tucked in
Motivated.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-motivated person, tucked in
Mhm.
person. So they kind of step in when they need to. But that's very rarely. But my kids and my mom really are motivators for me. I just want them to be proud. Be proud of what I'm building, be proud of what I'm doing. And I believe that they are. So that to me is a motivating factor.
Love it.
So can you tell us a little bit more about like the weight gain that kind of came as a result of COVID? Can you speak to us a little bit more about like what was, what would you think, came about at that time?
Yeah, absolutely. It came out of nowhere. So I say, I have photos of myself during COVID, and I feel like, it was such a great time though. I had a great time. I was cooking.
So you were just homebody, you were in your element.
I was in my element. And then I looked up and I said, what is going on? I was in my element. I was waiting on my Peloton to be delivered.
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody was, right? Everybody was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting on my delivery, and I looked up and it just, things had got out of hand. But thank goodness. I say to people, sometimes you can fall off, which that's what I call it, falling off. But when you have the tools, when you know how to get right back into the game, when you've done this before, when you know how to reset, it's like, thank God I had the tools, right? And so that's how I was able to quickly turn it around, and I shared that on my social. And I like to share that with my followers, my consumers.
Transparent, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is real life, and like I said, you can have a supplement in front of you, but if you're not taking it, it's not gonna work. So
Yeah. It's liberating when you're honest, right? When you're honest about kind of what's going on in your journey, and that, guess what? I'm not perfect. Guess what? I fall down just like everybody else, but I can get back up again. That's really the whole premise behind this thing called life and this journey. That's a marathon. It's not a sprint. we're all at different paces and along that journey. And so that's what I think is so powerful. I'm glad Jeanette went back to the issue of COVID, because we see this, right? We talk about all the time in our talks or lectures that stressed is simply dessert spelled backwards. And many of us, we turn to food when we're stressed, when we have that anxiety, and it brings it out, right? And that's one of the things. And in Black women, specifically, studies have shown that stress, and whether or not it's racial discriminatory stress or it's stress in general, it increases what's called visceral fat. That means the fat that overlies the organs, the fat that's most metabolically active that causes problems. And so when you address that before it becomes a problem, that's where you're powerful. That's where you empower your life and your body going forward.
Absolutely. And I have a really quick question from someone in the chat, and they wanted to know, what are the specific products they need to curb your appetite? They said they're not a big eater, but they crave desserts after their meals. And I don't know if we lost. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Nope, there. I just was turning on the light.
Okay.
I was just like Dr. Walsh. I was using the natural light. And now the sun's going down, so I had to shut on the light.
Yes, but you were glowing nonetheless, so that's fine. Were you able to hear the question?
I'm sorry. So you said someone was asking, about what they should use to help with their craving.
The specific products to curb the appetite. They're not a big eater, but they crave desserts after their meals.
Desserts. So I would definitely tell them to look at our product. It's called Boost. These are our metabolism boosting drops, and they have astragalus as the main ingredient in those drops, and they help with sugar cravings. So I would definitely tell them to look into the product Boost on our website.
Your product, and that is yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
It's sold on our website. Boost is sold on our website, and it's at the Vitamin Shop as well.
Okay, fantastic. And then there's a question of, are you familiar with Icaria lean belly fat?
Icaria.
It's Ikaria. So don't know. We're not sure what that is. We can look it up and see. That's not something. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think one of the things too, as well, like when you talk about using the supplements to kind of bookend, or at least as one-time replacement for food, I think that's great, because people live a busy lifestyle, and oftentimes they will not eat, not because they're time restricted feeding, not because they're intermittent fasting, but they get so busy with life, and then they will make up for it and engorge, right? And so if you can have something that stabilizes your blood sugar, that's quick and easy on the go, that can provide you with plant-rich foods, right? And so these plant-rich foods, whether or not they're in a refined state or not, that will still give you the adequate amounts of phytonutrients and proteins and so forth that can stabilize. That's what will help you reach your goals. And that's a powerful approach towards things. No, that's good. What's your favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise?
I do some research, so I saw you on, working out and everything like that, but I wasn't sure. Was it doing? Is it lifting weights, resistance training?
Right now I'm in a weightlifting journey. For any women watching this right now who are afraid of lifting weights, pick up the weights, ladies. Come over to my Instagram so you can see, literally the weight loss journey that I just recently went on post-COVID. I decided to go about it not just doing cardio, which I did in the past. I did weights. So I not only lost 60 pounds, but I put on 20 pounds of weight and 20 pounds of muscle.
Muscle weight. Mm-hmm.
Yes, muscle weight. And it just is it's so rewarding. Like lifting weights to me is so rewarding, because it's like, oh man, I wasn't able to lift this last month. Now I can lift this.
Yes.
So it's like a whole new journey that I'm on, and it's like really inspires me every day. I'm like, oh man, what can I get today? So definitely right now, strength training and weightlifting is like my dish.
Good. Well, we've got a question in the chat, and that is, I think this is to you, Dr. Batiste. I have heard some say health and weight loss is 80. Well, this is for both of you guys. Is 80% nutrition and 20% exercise and movement. What are your thoughts? And we'll start with you, Dr. Batiste, and then we'll move to you, Samia.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I would probably even be willing to say it's even a little bit more
Mm,
because we understand the importance of what you feed your body. Many times
Mhm.
people engage in exercise and they think, well, I burned 300 calories, so I can eat X, Y, and Z. And you can never burn off the things that you're eating. So the idea of shaping it that it's not using exercise as a reward to eat whatever you want, but as a
mm,
part of your lifestyle of movement, right? That's where it becomes empowering because it's not so much the foods that you eat, you have to develop a new culture, a new emotional ties to things that are helping you feel better, that are then going to help you invigorate your life and live a life of purpose. So that's where I definitely am on board with the idea of nutrition as a
Mhm.
core component.
absolutely.
Okay. And Samia, what would you say?
I would absolutely piggyback on Dr. Batiste. I totally agree. What you put in your body really translate into how you feel, and how you feel is going to motivate you to even work out, right? So like,
Mhm,
if I get up in
mhm.
the morning, I eat a cheeseburger, I
Very
probably am
true.
not going to feel like going downstairs and working out,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
If I get up, I drink my dandelion tea, I'm feeling light, I'm feeling good and motivated to get and work out. So I definitely feel like
Mhm.
nutrition is 80% or more, like Dr. Petit said.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Okay, so my question is really just going back to your starting the business, because the business person in me is like wants more and more information from you on that. So a lot of us have great ideas, right? But you took your idea in from a concept into reality. So what does that look like? I mean, are you in your kitchen, mixing up stuff and putting it in a plastic bag? Like, how do you go from whatever that was to being, doing over $10 million of sales?
Again, I started, found a laboratory, said, hey,
Okay.
what's the minimum order I can place? The smallest order for this formula I want to do. And it was
Hmm.
$5,000 I needed. And I took
Okay.
my little $5,000 out my savings account, scared.
Right.
I was
Right.
scared, like, oh, I'm using this, but okay, but I want to try this. I want to do this.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and created our first formula. And then
Okay.
those products sold out, took the profit made from that,
Okay.
reinvested back,
Reinvested it. Okay.
those sold out and reinvested. And so I've literally
Hmm.
reinvested from 5,000, until making multi-millions. This is the way
Right.
I've done since the beginning. So we've
Okay.
been bootstrapped since the very beginning in that way.
Okay. And so that was you and Ruby going into the lab, mixing these things up. So did you have to bring in someone that was a chemist or something like that in order to come up with the formulas?
So it's me and Ruby. I actually have a photo on my Instagram page. Me and Ruby
Okay.
in the lab. Yes, going into the lab and sitting down with a chemist in the lab
Okay.
to share with them. This is the
Things
formula
that
we're
we
going
want.
to do, and having a conversation with the chemist on what can be done, what can't be
Sure.
done, and those things. Yeah.
And so your line started with what product first, and then what was the evolution?
So our first products were our weight management products, which were the
Okay.
metabolism boosting drops. Uh,
Okay.
we have B12 drops, and then also
Mhm.
the control capsules, which are the appetite suppressant capsules. So all of those
Okay.
products are sold currently at the Vitamin Shop
Mhm.
nationwide. Those were our first products. Um,
Okay.
then I developed our plant-based protein, which is what I mentioned earlier, that has the sweet potato and beetroot added, which helps with
Mhm.
heart health and diabetes.
Okay.
So that was the fourth product that we released. And since then, we now have, I think, 24 SKUs total. So we have
Okay.
plant-based pre-workout, which is the
Yes.
first plant-based pre-workout on the market. It's sold
Okay.
currently on vitaminshop.com, and we're going to be
Nice.
launching on shelves in December. Um,
Okay.
and then we have a women's multivitamin, men's multivitamin, really everything for the body. I really set out, I was like, okay, I want to think about all parts of my body. What
Mhm.
are different, supplements that I may need? And let's look at those formulas that are currently out there and how can we make them better with us in mind.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay, Columbus, I'm sorry I'm hijacking.
No,
But
go ahead.
in terms of some of the products that you're doing, I mean, do
Yeah.
you find that some of them are helpful with like hormonal losses or balances, especially for women getting of a certain age?
You know what? We have a lot of consumers who ask us, like, is our product safe for people like PCOS? I definitely have seen a lot of customers, reviewers who have said that they've experienced great success with our boost drops and their PCOS, background. So have had problems in previous past and trying to lose weight. So definitely have seen that. And those drops have shown to help those individuals.
Okay.
And that's great. And then just kind of getting, obviously, I'm jumping into a lane that I don't really necessarily fit in. But when you talk about going through perimenopausal symptoms, there's been recent studies that have shown and demonstrated that adopting a whole food plant-based diet or moving towards that can be helpful tremendously. And it somewhat makes sense, right? So you're eliminating a large amount of the hormones from animal products at times. And then also you're seeing too as well that when you look at reducing or eliminating caffeinated beverages too as well, it may be helpful too, and that's been shown whether or not it's with fibroids or with menopausal symptoms as well. And I know that's a struggle, and there's actually a stark disparity in terms of the African American women in terms of the amount of symptoms they exhibit compared to other ethnicities and racial groups. And so I think it's important to kind of look at what we're feeding our body. Once again, everything goes back. It's a central theme. It's streamlined.
Yes.
What we feed our body is so important now and in the future.
It's so important. Like I had a team member on our team and she drank a Pepsi and had ate a Reese cup when she joined our team. And she shouldn't have never shared that with me. She's like, "Oh, I drink a Pepsi and eat Reese's every morning."
That's breakfast of champions.
We quickly turned this around, but it was like, this is normal. This is normal for people, especially in our community. And we need to cut it.
And there's a quick question in the chat, and it's asking, is it okay to use maple syrup or agave as a sweetener? Columbus, did you want to take that one?
Yeah.
Sure. I can jump into it. I think that we have to kind of go into our decisions eyes wide open, right? And so sometimes we want something that's sweet and savory, whatever it may be, and we're going to choose. And is that better than refined sugar? Absolutely. It's going to be better than refined sugar. So everything needs to be relative compared to something else. But when we're looking in general about what does this cause in our body, right? So we still know it's going to trigger the insulin. That's going to cause the fat absorption. That's then going to cause the drop in your blood sugar. That will then trigger you to crave more of this substance's sweetness that you're eating there. And so this vicious cycle, we also understand that it's going to typically be highly caloric. So it depends on what question are you choosing to answer. Am I choosing weight loss as my goal? Am I choosing health because I'm diabetic or pre-diabetic? Or am I, what is the question I'm choosing to answer by making this substitution outside of just solely health? And as you go into it, now with that being said, sometimes you're not really thinking through all those questions. You just want something good to eat and sweet. And so that will be a better option than many of those refined artificial latent sweeteners that have been shown increasingly to be detrimental to your body and overall health. Sorry, long-winded answer.
No. That was good. That was good. And so, Samia, when people start to take your products, and of course that's a really general statement, right? But how long does it typically take before people start to feel a difference?
I would say with our capsules, our appetite suppressant capsules, typically within 48 hours, within 24 to 48 hours, people typically feel that working within them. Either they feel increased energy or just really their appetite is gone. And then with our metabolism boosting drops, I feel like those drops, you really start to feel them within like the first 5 to 7 days. I start I sweat more, like your metabolism is like really going. I start to crave eating more. So you're gonna crave eating more because your metabolism is actually moving and functioning faster. So really to counteract that, that's where the control capsules come in, which is the appetite suppressant capsule. So I built this package of products because these were the things that I was using when I was trying to lose.
So you're saying that the metabolism will make you hungrier, but the counterbalance of that would help you control it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you need both almost, right?
Yeah, I would say so. If that's what your goal is weight
Weight
loss,
loss. Okay.
I would say so. So that's why I kind of built that package in that way.
Yeah.
For them, and then it has the meal replacement protein in there as well, because that is like the goal of that package product is weight loss.
Yeah, well, Columbus has bought all of your products, and I'm starting to use them. But it's just packaged so beautifully. So I just wanted to let you know that
Oh, thank you
it's
so much.
physically like appealing. I love the colors and the simplicity of, the information that is on the back of it and everything. So, it's just an exceptionally professional product.
Thank
And
you.
I'm waiting to lose my appetite because I'm extremely greedy. And so I'm just waiting for that to kick in.
Well, have
So
you
now,
started the control capsule? Have you tried that yet?
Yes, I think I'm almost like 2-3 weeks in, and
Okay.
and the calm, I know I feel the difference in that because I do when I take the 3 capsules, I am sleeping. Someone has mentioned that I'm even snoring because I'm so sleeping so well as a result of taking that product. So
Oh, nice. I love that. Please do make sure to leave a review on our website. Then, if you're using Calm and you love Calm, please do.
oh yes,
But
okay.
again, these formulas, again, we really did take our time with each of them. And Dr. Patisse, I really appreciate you, going through and looking at the formulas. Because again, I think that's something I said to you the first time I met you. Like, I really want people to look at our formulas and really, tell me what they think about the formula, not just about it, Black woman owned.
no, and that's important. I mean, when I look, I can get to be a little science nerdy at times, and so I can't get down inside the weeds. And so one of the things that was quite interesting as I looked at some of the core ingredients, which are obviously extracts from whole foods and so forth, and the triggering of what you all were attempting to target. And so that was one of my main goals and originally kind of purchasing. I wanted to kind of take a look and see what was inside the ingredients because we had connected. I knew I wanted to have you on because you have such an incredible story that's there. But the one thing I want to encourage folks is that there is a role and a place for everything, right? And I should say for most things. And so I think that this has its niche. And so the beautiful thing is that what the Body Complete RX team, what they're attempting to teach you is the fact that consciously or subconsciously is that your body will, and Walsh and we're going to do a little show on this. Your body will conspire to keep you from losing weight. So you have to be in charge and get your body under control. It's going to trigger that hunger hormone, called ghrelin. That's going to make you seek out food. It's going to reduce your resting metabolic rate to make you hold on to as much weight as possible. It's going to do all these things. It's going to disrupt your sleep. It's going to make you want to feel lazy. All of these things. And so these are ways that you can kind of boost it. And you can also do it through the foods you eat and through your activity. But many people struggle as they're trying to search it out. So this is a means in which they can start out using a product like this, where they give instructions, where the team gives instructions on how to achieve this ongoing for the rest of your life and tackle things. So that's bravo to you.
I love that. And that's what I say. This is like a jump start. I feel like little trim package that I put together. I call it your jump start. Get yourself under control to really go about living the lifestyle. We try to include that, with the nutrition guide that we give with that product to help you get off into a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. And then also the other part is that, some people can do it on their own and be successful, and this is not an issue for them. But the other thing out there is that there are products out there that can help you to get to where you're going and that you don't have to struggle alone. So I love the fact that the product is out there. I love the fact that it looks so amazing and it's packaged so great. But then I also love the fact that you have access for the people to get guides on how to eat healthy, because a lot of times it's not about the what and the why, but it's a how. And so just the fact that you're able to give them all of that will definitely increase the probability of success. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry, Columbus, did you want to close this out?
No, you can close out. I'm happy to kind of chime in too as
Oh
well.
no, I'm good. That was my close. What about yours?
Oh. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. I mean, you make me proud of the fact of the success that you've had inside this industry. I think that there are different avenues that we need to go ahead and take over in terms of, I
Yes.
love your representation. I love what you're doing. And I love your commitment to high quality and excellence, irrespective. And that's the first thing you said to me. Don't buy it because I'm a Black woman. Buy it because it's a wonderful product. And I love that. And it rings home. I think we had another individual named Chef Chu on the show previously, who once again, just out of nowhere, burst on the scene and making a plant-based product that was there and is trying to take over the industry. And so I love hearing these stories of success and empowerment and trying to do the same thing, which is reach people where they're at and drive them towards an improved state of health. So keep on getting on and do what your purpose, live your purpose. So I'm extremely happy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you to your audience for listening.
Yes. All right. And to those out there who are kind of joining in right now or going to watch afterwards, stay tuned. We're going to probably be back and give you a little bit of a taste of your body is conspiring to try and keep you from losing weight, your body and the food industry, right? We're going to give you a little snippets of that. We're also going to come back in with the pediatrician later on in September too as well. But we want to reflect on the greatness of Samia Gore and check out her website and Body Complete RX and support her. Share it with those who are struggling, who perhaps may be at a different place than where you're at.
Yes, please go and support us at the Vitamin Shop. Let them know that you're there to support Body Complete RX, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. You have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
All right, bye.